This next speaker has been a friend to Solana since the very beginning. His efforts have supercharged the adoption of Solana, and none of us would be here if he wasn't hyping Solana all throughout the bear. He's the Sherpa Emeritus of Super Team. I never get sick of listening to his silky smooth silver tongue stylings. Give it up for the Jupiter's cat herder, Kash Dhanda.
Hey, everybody, how's it going? Hey, yeah. Folks, I know it has been, is anyone else feeling like a little dizzy right now after all these fucking announcements? Yeah? I want to do a quick recap of what has been announced so far today, if my mic will allow me to. Just so that everyone can kind of keep track of everything that's happened. Here we go, rapid fire. First, Jupiter acquired a majority stake in Moonshot, the #1 trading app in the world right now. 2, we launched Ultra Mode for the best swap ever created with real-time slippage estimation, Jupiter Shield, and premium support. 3, manual mode was also launched for complete flexibility with even more control for folks. 4, Jupiter Spot V2 with the new UI, recurring and trigger orders, also live right now, you can use it. 5, Jupiter Mobile launched Magic Scan, so you can scan anything in the world and start to trade it. Brand new organic score from token verification is now online. Limit orders are live on Jupiter Perps. Sonar Watch was acquired and launched Jupiter Portfolio. The community token list V3 went on. I've lost track of how many numbers at this point. Deposit JLP, Borrow USDC was announced. Virtuals is coming to Solana. Shaw Makes Magic, $10 million Magic Fund. Eliza V2 announced. Candle TV, Livestream Launchpad announced. And AI Pool fundraising platform. And we're only fucking halfway through the day right now. Make some noise for what you guys have been going through right now. It is a lot, that is for sure. I'll try to keep this relatively quick. What I want to talk about now, as someone is not waving to me, but somebody else. Okay, cool. What I want to talk about now is, in fact, the Jupiverse. We've talked about Jupe.ag. We've talked about Money 3.0. Now we're going to talk a little bit about the Jupiverse itself. Many of you are already a part of it, except for the guy in the red shirt who is passed out right now. Shout out to that guy. And now he's awake. Yay! There we go. All right. So, what we're going to talk about here. My name is Kash Dhanda. I am indeed the cat herder over here at Jupiter. And when I think about the Jupiverse, I actually really struggled with this because it's hard to put this into common terms because something like this has not existed before. The Jupiverse is really a new type of organization. It's more distributed. It's a new way to do community that's not just, hashtags on Twitter. And it's a new way to kind of scale impact without necessarily scaling your headcount. I think all of these are pretty critical. If you think about it, there are 3 kind of key components to how the Jupiverse functions. We have the founder energy that drives the Jupiverse. That's the fuel that makes things happen. We have this alignment experiment, the largest one that's ever happened, happening right now as we all speak. And then, of course, we have the cultural movement as well. So I'll talk about each of these real briefly, and then some of the other talks, we'll go through this in some detail, all right? So let's start off here with this founder energy idea, right? We like to think of the Jupiverse as a ecosystem of founders, not just founders of venture-backed companies, but people with founder energy to go and get shit done. So what do we really believe in here? Well, first, we believe in access. That anyone, anywhere, should be able to use the cutting-edge tools at the lowest possible fees and get the best possible price on everything that they're doing. And this does literally mean anyone. I want to give a shout-out to my guy, Ordy Rums. I don't know if Ordy Rums here. I think he is too young to get like a visa to come here. He's 15 years old. He's trading. He's making videos. He's an important part of the community. It's incredible to see, right? But he's the kind of person that cannot ever participate in whatever private equity buyouts, right? He can now participate in this. The second thing we really believe in is agency. This idea of just doing shit. We have multiple grant programs that are out there to reward people that do stuff. If you're in this audience right now and you like to do shit, I got good news for you. We have grants ready and waiting. This guy likes it a lot, which is good. And another little example here, my guys Wake and Sachs, I think are great examples of this. They used to just hang out in the Discord. They used to hang out in Discord voice chats for how many hours a day, Sachs? What was that? 12, 13 hours a day. They, like many bros, were like, hey, maybe we should start a podcast, They did it. It is now like the leading community podcast. It profiles not only partners, but also community members, all because they just started to do shit. That's that founder energy, right? Not waiting for permission, but just going forward and doing things that make a difference. And finally, we have this idea of abundance, right? This is a key part of founder energy, that you're not kind of limited by the constraints that are in front of you right now. You're not just trying to maximize returns for yourself, you're trying to maximize returns for everybody. This is where that idea of PPP comes into play that I mentioned earlier today. A great example of this is my guy Katoshi. Is Katoshi here? Where is he? He's somewhere around. Yeah, there he is. There's Katoshi. Yeah, give it up for Katoshi over here. star of the Cadets Work Group. The man breathes PPP. He's in Discord all day and night. He's on Twitter answering questions. Nobody was paying him to do this. He just believed that if we can all win, we will all win harder together, right? So this kind of founder energy, incredible. And we're seeing it all across the Jupiverse, from the work groups, which I'll talk about in a second, to the grantees, to the DAO, to the users, to bounties hunters, and everyone else in between, right? Actually, how many founders do we have in the room right now? Or how many people are actually building some communities? A few folks? Oh, okay, more and more, nice. Some people are a little shy on the founder side. Yeah, I know a few over there for sure. This is the kind of system that I highly recommend building because we're seeing great results with it right now. This is the alpha right here. Okay, the second part of the Jupiverse, it is really an experiment in alignment. Alignment is the most precious resource after Jup in the Jupiverse, and it's hard to get right. But there's a few things that we've seen. One, obviously, you need some kind of common currency that aligns everybody's incentives in the same direction. That is Jup. We've talked about Jup a little bit. As a quick reminder, major talk on Jup happening tomorrow morning. I promise you, you will not want to miss it. With Jup, we can start to bring people together who believe in a few common themes, right? So this idea that community is fundamental. The team at Jupiter believes this, obviously, otherwise we would not have paid and produced this entire program and let everybody in for free, right? So this is just a few people that are on the team. There are many more who are not actually represented here. The second is to align people who believe in activating talent globally. And this is really, I think, best shown by the work groups. How many people here know what a work group is? Let me just see a show of hands. Okay, about a half. So these decentralized work groups, there's going to be a panel right afterwards, so Julian and Kimo and everybody will tell you more about it. But the idea is, how do you get decentralized teams who have high degrees of agency and ownership to start to do stuff autonomously, away from the team? Most companies scale by just adding headcount. That's not what's happening at Jupiter. We're expanding horizontally with more and more self-sufficient, autonomous pods of people who can get shit done. So right now there are 4. There's the Uplink Working Group. A shout out to my boys over here in the front row, the Uplink Working Group, applauding for themselves. Very nice, OG. Really, Uplink's Working Group's idea is to create content and broaden the top of the funnel, right? So you want to have, if you're building your own community, some people that are excited and able to generate content and work with other content creators to do that. I think we've given up like 80-ish grants. Anyone here gotten a grant from Uplink in the audience right now? Yeah, I see a few. I know NFT Muse will. Yeah, will. And many more, right? Another work group that we have is the Core Work Group. This was the first work group, actually, and they are the ones that help design many of the DAO processes. They handle the token list, and they do a lot of incredibly valuable things behind the scenes. Then we have the Cadet Trial Working Group with Julian, Katoshi, and many others who are responsible for creating that kind of culture that we want to see within the community. They are the stewards of the culture internally. And then, of course, we have Wake and Zach's, the Jup and Juice Trial Working Group, which is out there as the community voice, right? These work groups are truly an experiment. It's not something that's been done before in this way. They are funded by the DAO and accountable to the DAO as well, right? Finally, we want to align people who believe in scaling crypto adoption. And this is where you see some of the things that we've talked about already today starting to come in. This ecosystem of founders, these companies. That one we'll talk about a little bit later. The Magic Jupiter Fund with Shaw that was just announced. Meteora, you just heard from Ben Chow. Also, by the way, can we get a little round of applause for Ben Chow? Just the best dressed guy in the building. Look at that. I don't know where you got that shirt, but it was great. Ben, if you're watching this, shout out to your fashion designer. And finally, of course, Moonshot, who we talked about earlier today as well. All right. This is the JUP. This is one other way to think about it. These 5 kind of distinct groups coming together, being aligned by the Jup token to maximize Jupiter's impact in the world and to maximize the amount of decentralization in finance. The last thing I want to talk about here real quick is the Jupiverse as a cultural movement, right? It is not enough to innovate on the technical layer, right? We also must innovate on the social layer. Otherwise, I mean, this room is pretty fucking big right now, honestly, but it is still a fraction of the number of people that we need to bring into crypto if we want to meaningfully change the world. And so there's just a bunch of people in the community who are leading that charge on the culture side. Culture is not something that you can build from the top down. It's something that emerges organically when you have a lot of people aligned and believing in the same things that are high agency. So cadets are what we call community members of Jupiter. They are the tip of the spear. Here's a bunch of them. Many more not shown there. And a few just to specifically shout out. Is Scarlett in the building? Where's Scarlett? I know Scarlett is somewhere. Ah, there's Scarlett right there. Shout out to Scarlett. True embodiment of PvP, pushing the culture forward. Not on a work group right now, but still out there every day talking about the vision that we want to try to build together. We got Uni, who I think is anonymous, so I won't ask him or her to share his hands, but super thoughtful, participating in governance, giving feedback on proposals. We have JD Soul 84. Is JD Soul 84 here? Maybe not. Been welcoming the world to Jupiter is basically like the welcoming committee. That way, everyone who joins the community has someone friendly that does start to walk them through things, showing that PvP spirit. My guy Loki, who's been giving feedback both positive and critical, growing. Yeah, give it up for Loki. Why not? Where's Loki? Yeah. Growing the community. Arrow, jumping into questions, answering questions in Discord all the time. Uplink, who I already talked about a little bit. Shout out to the Uplink boys, OG, Pedro, Yodapun Clouds, Srijani, Will, of course, as well. And then finally, someone from the team that I wanted to give a special shout out to, Sian, who is the queen of Catstanbul. She put this all on right now. Where is Sian? Yes. There she is in the back somewhere with the little cat ears. She's a little shy right now. But that's exactly what this event is meant to do, is to kick off this kind of cultural momentum where we can start to rewire people's mental programming and get them to work in ways that are more PPP and better for us all. So that is what the Jupiverse is all about. And it's really going to take us from the trenches to the trading floors all the way to the town halls, right? We need this to go not just from a trading movement, but to a social movement. That is really what's being built right here. One more thing, Shaw kind of used the same trick. We both like Steve Jobs, I guess. That's a lot of people that I just mentioned, doing a lot of different things. And it can get a little bit dizzying. Like, one of the downsides of decentralization is that things get fragmented, attention is fragmented, people don't know where to begin. This is something that we've heard a lot from people coming into the community, that, hey, it is tough to access it. There's already 700,000 stakers and whatever else. So today, we are announcing Jup.com. Jup.com is going to be the center of the Jupiverse going forward. So everything that I just talked about, you'll be able to find in one place. This is live right now. We got the domain like last week or 2 weeks ago. It was very exciting. And it's going to have a bunch of different things in it. It'll have everything for the Jup DAO. So if you're a voter, your resources are going to be there. The work groups will be hosted on there. Grantees, content, all of those kinds of things all in one place. There's going to be all sorts of resources like the Jup research forums. Anyone here use the Jup research forums right now? Okay, a few. That's good. Yeah, not bad. Along with your Jupiverse profile, which you all created for Jupiwary. I told you you would need it coming forward. This is what you were needing it for. And then upskilling workshops, because we do a lot of those. Of course, for cadets, we're going to have the cadet appreciation that the CAWG has been building out. That's going to be now in one place. You can see other great community members, an events calendar, work opportunities for people that want to contribute. And then on the community side, all of the newsletters, the planetary calls, and probably the most necessary thing in all of crypto or all of Jupiter is an acronym dictionary. Meow is addicted to acronyms, and I know it can be a lot for people. We'll have a dictionary of all of those in one place. That's right, yeah, the English translator will be there. You can scan this QR code right now to get notified when we go live. This will be ground zero for everything that happens across the Jupiverse going forward. That is all I got. Thank you all very much for coming out. I appreciate it.